Hello and welcome back to Rue's Life. And today we're going to slow things down and I'm going to talk to you about how I live a slower, more deliberate and mindful life and how you can do that too. Now, I know that I'm really lucky to live on the farm and be surrounded by my animals, but if you can, keep some animals, spend some time with animals. Chickens, you'd be amazed at how you can keep them. You can have backyard chickens even if you aren't able to live on a farm like me. I have my wonderful sheep and everything about them, everything about living here on the farm just brings me such joy, but it also slows me right down, spending time all through the seasons, feeding and watering and checking and just simply spending time with them. It gets me out in all weathers and it makes me stop and look around me and see the beauty and really genuinely appreciate the seasons changing all around me. And that's the same with the horses. The horses are just wonderful. And again, every element of their care, time spent just being in the field with them, grooming them, getting them in to have the vet visit, all the elements of keeping horses are just wonderful and they're such fabulous companions. And again, it just makes you learn to appreciate slowing right down. Even preparing, this is Garth here, for a farrier visit where he gets his shoes done. Even that is quite a mindful experience and I enjoy it. Just being with them, you can see the sheep there as well, but just pootling about and spending time with them on summer's days or frosty mornings, anytime, just slowing down and being aware of the warmth and the smell and the beauty and the gentleness of them. And they can be quite comedic as well, and they can make me laugh. And as I say, here I am just grooming Garth. And even grooming, I find such a relaxing and mindful activity. Moving them when I have to move them. You know, I'm never in a rush. I enjoy spending time with them. And just the responsibility for another life other than your own is there's something quite special about that, and I feel very privileged to own these beautiful animals. They are simply incredible, and I do understand that not everybody has that privilege of being able to own dogs or cats or chickens or whatever they may, but if you can, do. My dogs bring me such joy. You can see Kay there, the other greyhound, not the one we're looking at, that's Kaylee, but the brindle dog, Kay. We had such wonderful times with her. And there's Kaylee. And there they are again. Again, all year round, they get you outside and they get you doing things. There's Kaylee when she had 4 legs. Those of you that followed me for a long, long time may remember her with 4 legs. But again, they make me laugh and they bring me so much joy. Sharing your life with any animal is just delightful. And there's so much you can do with them. This was a hot summer and that's Kaylee doing her paddling pool snorkeling. And of course our newest addition, Pippa, who's just a baby, but full of life and full of personality and brings such joy to us. We have Victor the tortoise. Again, I know not everybody's privileged enough to own a tortoise, but we do, and we love him. But if you're not able to own your own pets or animals, there are so many places that you can go. And this is just one example. It's a local Shire horse centre, but they have a whole menagerie of animals. And it doesn't cost a huge amount to go and just be able to spend time with animals that you may not be able to own yourself or spend time with. You can go and do it. You can get up close with them and give them a cuddle. And this is an absolutely delightful place. So, I'm sure there are places around you where you can go and do the same. You can get that experience without the responsibility of having that day-to-day care of them, or the costs that are involved. So spending time with animals is a really mindful activity, and we can learn an awful lot from them. I really miss owning a cat, so being able to cuddle a cat that belongs to somebody else is just lovely. This one was so friendly and made us laugh. Look at those paws. These Shire horses are so gentle and majestic. And something that most people can afford and can find the time to do, but don't always, is art and crafts. And you don't have to be, I'm nowhere near an artist, but I do enjoy sort of art journaling and crafting and just experimenting and doing different things. This is just a journal that I keep, but I make it a little bit arty by sticking bits and pieces in it that I found, and stickers and so on, and just writing in a fairly creative fashion, but it's just for me, it's not for anybody else. Just a simple notebook and a pencil, that's all you need. You don't have to make it as fancy and have stickers. You could just draw little pictures or cut things out of magazines, but it's a really mindful process to just spend a few moments in each day doing some form of journaling. Pebble painting is something that, again, I'm not going to win any prizes, but I really enjoy doing it, and it's such a mindful activity. And you can collect pebbles off the beach if you can. If not, you can always actually buy some. I like to do a little bit of watercolour, again, a really mindful activity where you completely lose yourself. Stamping, this is me doing some stamping to put into one of my junk journals. I make junk journals, and again, I really enjoy doing that. You can find information about that anywhere on the internet, or you can watch some of my videos. And junk journaling is great because although I am using some equipment here, you actually don't need anything other than stuff that might normally go into the bin. It kind of reminds me of the old scraps that we used to have when we were younger and make scrapbooks, but this is a whole new thing, this junk journaling, where you actually create the pages yourself. And again, a really slow and mindful activity. And I often enjoy making my own festive cards to give away. again, a lovely process, and it's nice to have something to give to people at the end. Baking, it doesn't have to cost a lot, but again, there's a real sense of achievement, and it's such a mindful activity. I love baking, and I love the end creation because, of course, you get to eat it. So this is me making some cinnamon rolls. These are actually gluten and dairy free. They are actually much easier than you would expect to make. And here I'm making some really simple raisin and cinnamon cookies. And again, really easy to make, and a lovely thing to have at the end that you can share with people, or take as a gift if you're going to visit people. And baking, again, slow, mindful activity. It doesn't have to cost much. I love my wild swimming, and in many places you can go and do it for free. Again, it's just slowing down and absorbing yourself in nature and all the beauty that's around. I've been so fortunate to visit some absolutely amazing places, and if you're not sure or you're new to it, do go with somebody, find a buddy, which is what I do. I do swim on my own, but I often swim with my lovely swim buddy Jules, and we've been to some absolutely fabulous places. Blue space, it doesn't have to be swimming. This is us at a sauna, wood-fired sauna, and a plunge pool. It was lovely and hot in the sauna. It was freezing cold in the plunge pool, but it was a wonderful experience. And get yourself to any blue space that you can. Being near water, moving water, lakes, rivers, the sea, if you can just spend time in or around water at all times of the year, spring, summer, autumn, and here we are in the winter, one of the coldest days of the year, and we actually broke the ice to get in and plunge. It was wonderful. I also like to be on the water, so I paddleboard. I've also had a go in the past at kayaking. And again, it doesn't have to cost a huge amount. We're very lucky we have our own paddle boards, but there are places that you can hire kayaks, paddle boards, rowing boats, or go along with a buddy. But just being in, on and around the water is so relaxing and so mindful, and just takes you back to basics, really, just enjoying the elements, embracing the elements all year round. Another thing we did recently was we hired a canal boat for the day. It wasn't particularly expensive, and we had an absolutely lovely day. Again, getting to experience something that you might not always have got to do before. So something that you might have always wanted to do and think you can't, go and check it out. Reading, just read a book. It can take you away like a little holiday. When you make a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, make it a mindful process. Enjoy the luxury of slowing down and not just chucking some instant tea or coffee into a cup and drinking it as quickly as you can, but enjoy the process. That can be a treat. In a really busy, bustly day, you can slow down and just enjoy the process of making a fresh pot of coffee, a mocha pot coffee, a plunge coffee, whatever type you have. And the same with tea. If you buy loose tea, I love Earl Grey, and this is a decaffeinated Earl Grey blend, and it's absolutely lush. I have some other blends as well. But that process of putting the blends, I've got a bit of floral tea here that I'm adding to that Earl Grey, and then the process of pouring the water, the aroma that comes from it, the anticipation of waiting, watching it change colour, and then pouring it out and enjoying, sitting, relaxing with your cuppa. It's a mindful process, and it can take anything up to half an hour from start to finish, and we need to do that. We need to slow down and not be rushing around so much, be a little bit more aware of what we're doing. It makes such a difference. thrift shopping. Now this is a slightly speeded up little bit of footage from some of my videos where I'm showing my thrift or charity shop bargains. Again, the process of going charity shopping or thrift shopping, you don't really know what you're going to get. You might have an idea, you might have a particular thing, but it's not like just going to a normal shop and walking in and knowing you're going to come home with exactly what you want. That pootling around and slowing down and looking through the rails for that bargain, there's something very lovely about that. And also, you know you're doing something good for the planet because you know you're reusing something. There's a lovely feeling about being dressed head to toe in thrifted fashion. You know, you're not participating in fast fashion, and we're really helping the planet by doing that. And it's not just clothes. I also, you'll see coming up in this little clip, I had a brand new pair of boots, which you will see shortly. I was clearly in love with that cardigan. I think these are the boots. Yeah, they're Aldo. I hadn't heard of them, but I actually Googled them and I ran back to the shop and bought them because they were such a bargain. They were brand new, they'd never been worn, and I've still got them and I wear them a lot, and they're lovely boots. So clothing, you may get some decent shoes. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea buying second-hand shoes. And look at this lovely little jug and basin that I got. And I still have that in the house. I tend to keep things. But if you've had them from a charity shop and you get bored of them, you can always redonate them and find something else. And this is me again celebrating some really nice clothes that I've bought from a charity shop, well, from lots of charity shops. You know, it's just a lovely way to shop. I am currently working towards having more natural fibres, so I completely avoid fast fashion. I'm only buying things from charity shops, and I'm really stripping down. I've donated an awful lot of my clothes to charity, and this was one of my most recent hauls where I've bought cotton or wool or denim or twill. So I'm trying to buy second-hand, organic or natural fibres. And I absolutely love this grey dress. I wore it just a couple of days ago. And in fact, we went to the theatre last week, and the dress that I'm about to hold up, I wore that and I just felt great in it. It's a really lovely dress. So if you've never done it before, go and do some charity shopping. I often treat myself to a little cup of coffee and a bun while I'm doing it. And it's just a lovely, relaxing way to go and spend a couple of hours and come home having not spent too much, but feeling like you've had a real treat. And again, it's a way of us just slowing down. We're also making ourselves be more mindful about what we've got. I've got a rule now that, you know, if I buy a new something from a charity shop, then I have to redonate something. So one in, one out. And it's just making you a little bit more aware of where things come from and what we've got. This was when I'd been out and bought specific items that I wanted. So some pots that I used for putting some bulbs in. This spring. So I put them in and forced the bulbs in these gorgeous little pots. I bought some other bits and pieces as well, but again, all in, I think I'd been to an antiques emporium on this occasion and come home with some lovely, lovely bargains. And the majority of things that are in my house are clothing and items are charity shops or thrift items. Cook from scratch where you can, you know, slow down and enjoy it. Enjoy cooking meals from scratch. I love using my slow cooker as well, that anticipation of a lovely meal at the end of the day. Get out and have a walk. There's so many things to see and do, and of course walking is completely free. You don't need a dog to go for a walk. You can walk without one, and always take a flask with you. Some of the places that I've been visiting to walk, you know, just putting one foot in front of the other, it's just spectacular. And again, it's just slowing down, listening to the birds, looking out for wildlife, waterfalls, rivers, lakes, the sea. There's so many places to walk. And again, if you can't get out into the countryside and you live in a town or a city, there's so many parks. I used to visit towns and cities, and I always tried to find a bit of green space. Sitting near water on a walk, or just walking along near water, again, it's just beautiful. The sights and the sounds. And for me, it really doesn't matter whether it's raining or not. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, because of course, as the seasons change, we get to see the same places looking completely different, one foot in front of the other. And, you know, there's a whole world out there waiting for us to just take a walk and slow down and be at one with nature. We have been lucky enough to buy a vintage caravan, which we're restoring, and we are really looking forward to having some holidays in her. We haven't named her yet. I might do a competition. But this is a little caravan that I actually rented. So if you can't afford your own caravan and you need a little breakaway, this is a little vintage caravan that we've visited. I went once on my own, and Chris has been with me as well. And it's a really great way to slow down and have a little holiday. You could also hire a camper van. I've been fortunate enough to be able to share my sister's camper van and go out with her in it. But again, check out local camper van hire. Get yourself a little holiday. Slow down and enjoy everything around you. Gardening. I'm really lucky because I have a big plot to grow on, which I've developed in a sheep paddock and turned into a vegetable plot. But whether you have an allotment space, a big growing space at home like me, or a small garden, or even just a windowsill, growing things, whether that be flowers that you can enjoy just looking at in the garden, or cut flowers to bring into the house, or, as I love to grow, vegetables, so you know exactly where your food is coming from. The whole process from sowing the seeds and waiting for them to germinate and preparing your beds and potting on and planting out until eventually you get a delicious, rewarding harvest. So I can't recommend it highly enough. Another slow and mindful activity is gardening. That there's been something in this video that you could relate to, or that you could try to go and do. But it's so important that I personally feel that we slow right down and start to appreciate the little things in life.